Hello, welcome to the episode. My name is Macbearded, and we are going into, I don't know what episode it is actually, but obviously way back I used to do was episodes for the Pentagon challenge. There was a stage where I didn't do any for a long period, and that was because I was being overrun by a lot of me doing a lot of different kind of videos, but also the fact that I was spending a lot of time doing streaming on Twitch. If you want to check out my Twitch channel, you can do so. Usually I do different various games, variety games, including even some Football Manager. But nonetheless, we kind of stepped away from doing this episode, and I do feel a bit bad as I did want to go through this more process. So what I ended up doing was playing one of the season I was at on stream, and we went through the whole season, and as you can see from the table itself that we ended up mid-table. We will go into it a bit more when we're checking through the schedule. We didn't make, so obviously it's the Indonesian league, is it? Yeah. And they have is 2 stages. So this is the first stage in the league. Second stage is when you have, so there's two league groups. So you have this league group here, and you have another one who will then go head to head in a cup competition to then find out who will get promoted, sort of thing. Obviously we didn't end up getting into that stage, but it allows us to spend time of trying to build a team. Obviously you can see from our player, we could go into the player stats a little bit more in detail, but first we're going to go into our schedule. So obviously I think we stopped at the PSBL, I think. Yeah. I think that's where it was at on the episode. It was at PSBL. Obviously you can see from the PSBL we did win the first round cup. The next month we didn't do too bad. We only lost 2 games, but we still won. We won the second round cup, as well as winning a couple of games which were kind of needed. We could see our September was very, very busy. This is where a lot of games were coming in, and you could see we were up against Perseca, and this is where we had the 2-legged round, and we did really well. We did have a lot of different kind of games that we were very, very worried of. So we were like fighting a few teams in this, which obviously we had the group leg up, and then we had Sri Hwijau and Mertekukar and Persarang as the last 3 teams. Sadly, these last 3 teams were the top 3 teams in the league, which was a little bit not good. But we did end up drawing. But because Mertekukar and Persarang were the last 2, and they were both first and second place teams, it did come down to we needed to win both these games to actually go through. But on the overall generalization of the game and the whole season, we did not do too bad. It was a good start. Mid-table, I mean, we could have done, there was a few times we could have done better. We had an very inconsistent league run. We could have definitely done a lot better, and I even know we could, by looking at the games, I even know that we could have done so much better. And we could have definitely done so much better. But anyway, obviously they're going to have a second stage going, but in the meantime we are going to be doing is probably try and build up the team. If we look, probably this way it'd be easier. If we look this way, we look at probably selection info. Our player that was having the most appearances, or actually a couple of players were having a lot of appearances, about 5 of them ended up being over 20 appearances, and they were Fiwi Dupan, Zulfikar, Septian, Junaidi, and Adrianas. I say Junaidi played a lot because he was our only right back. Obviously Septian, Dupan were our main strikers. Zulfikar and Adrianas were our main midfielders, and we want to use them as much as possible and try and play them as much as possible. Obviously all the others varied because of yellow cards, red cards, somebody else played instead. Obviously, our boy Ridu Ronaldi's played 14 games. 10 of them ended up being, well, he played on 14 actual startup league games and he played 10 sub ones, which is fair and understandable. But well, I mean, there was certain players that we could have definitely done better with, and some players we could have maybe not done without. Maybe we didn't need them at all. Looking at goal wise, we obviously Furman Septian was our main striker, and so was Japan. They actually did quite well. Also, Pugianto did very well as well when he was trying to cover, because sometimes we lost our left attacking left, which was Ifrawadi, because he got injured. So we lost him at some point, and obviously that meant Septian had to play on attacking mid left, and it had to be Dwepan and Pijanto playing up front. But I mean, definitely they did really, really well. Assist wise, obviously Ifrawadi put a lot of effort, but this was before he got injured. Firmin Septian also filled in that space. Rido Ronaldo did quite well. Fajar Nur Hakim, had quite a few games where he had to come in and help out. Adrianas did very well in the centre with Zulfikar. But obviously, like I said, it's all good. It's all definitely good. Obviously, we can't really look at these quite well. Average rating wise, Ifrawadi, Nur Hakim, and Septian were over the 7.0. Obviously, two of them not having that many games, but obviously with Septian, you can see Septian had a very, very good rating just for that. And obviously he was our main player. I think he's our main highest player or our main long-term player, because he actually has been with PSPS for quite a long period, apart from when he had to go to Padang, but he also then came back. Yeah, 31-year-old, that's actually not too bad. Obviously, Muckless did quite well with the 6.98. We could see some of these players doing really, really well. Usually for me, 6.5 is usually the cutoff point. And then anyone below that, it's kind of, it's on and off. It's on and off. Obviously, Hanapi didn't do well as a goalkeeper, which I was a little bit disappointed because I was hoping he would do quite well. Trayoka didn't do too well either. Dwesan Gandhi. Obviously, we had our left back and I think sent off or maybe even injured as well as a few times. So Sagandi didn't do too well himself. But obviously, like I said, it was kind of weird with the rules in this one, because I think it's transfer wise you can't have any foreign players, which makes it a little bit tricky, but that means you have to spend more time looking at players in Indonesia and actually bringing in players. Transfer window wise, you can only have in between February and June, and October and June. Obviously, we had bought a lot of players and we had them all set up to come in October. So we're going to be looking at that afterwards. But it was good the fact that we made these signings. We scouted some players, we made some signings. We didn't make any different changes to the staff. If we can look at the league, we look at our team. We can look at the stats. Obviously, we didn't do too well. The only thing you could see us be getting into, we spent a lot of money, but this is for the season coming. Obviously, our average possession was 53%, which is really good for a middle range team. But obviously, we were doing a lot of passes. Games without winning 3, but that's only because of our bad run recently. Most foul made, 338. Quite proud of that. If we look at player overall, we're not going to look too detailed. If we look at player overall, nobody really stick out from our team in these, but if we look closer in these sections, nothing sticks out here for them. We see Daniel Janaidi getting 5 yellow cards, which is kind of expected, and yeah, I don't see anything else to connect from those. But anyway, we're going to look into obviously our dynamics is going to look pretty good. I mean, we're a little bit poor right now, but they think our managerial support is very good. Obviously, we're looking poor because we have our games we just recently lost. But hopefully next season we'll be doing better. Transfer. So we did a lot of scouting. We did bring in a lot of players. I think I might have gone a little bit over extended. I might have gone a bit too much, but a lot of these players were free, and we brought them in, and we'll see how they do. We're gonna look at transfer wise. We did quite a lot of signings. Obviously, we got quite a fair bit of money, but we made we spent a total of 275k, and that's a lot. Consider the fact you're looking at in our home finances salary, we just plummeted all the way down. Which, but we still have a transfer budget. Don't worry about it. We still have a transfer budget. We can still work on that. By the way, let's go back into this. We spent money on bringing in Dodi Al-Fahid, the 21-year-old. His potential is actually not that bad. He's actually pretty decent for a mid-range. And I thought of bringing him in because he would be a midfielder. So the biggest problem was with PSPS was they didn't have much of a... The biggest problem with PSPS was the fact that they didn't have much of a depth to the team. So I wanted to bring in players that, younger players in, so we have fill up the depth a bit better. And obviously we made some few signings. Obviously a lot of big signings were made that of players that had good potential. And we had to swivel a bit. But it was good. We brought in the PSPS from Borneo FC in League One, so he's gone down a division. But I mean, he got a 6.3. That's a little bit worrying. But hopefully, we're hoping that if we build him up in League Two, he'll do quite well. Potentially, we're hoping he'll do quite well to the basis that we might sell off Zulfikar or Adrianas. We also brought in Mohamed Bakhtiar, 17-year-old. Probably questionable on the amount of money we spent, but he was prospect to be quite good, and I thought as a defender, because I looked at our youth and our team, and we didn't have many good youth players, so for me it was this would be a good investment, plus the fact that we could have him playing maybe even next season, have him playing early and have him built up, so then he could add profit eventually. Did 60k on Puja Adila, another quite young player, 4-star player. I mean, you would want a little bit higher, but because the reason what made me want to buy him was the fact that his current ability is 3-star and he can get the potential of 4-star, but the main thing was his current ability with 3-star, so we could actually have him playing next season, which would be amazing. We brought him over from Bandung United. He did quite well with Bandung United, so I thought this would be quite good to bring him over. Then we went to Mitra Kakar to bring up bring down actually Rafli Mursalim. He was actually not that. We scouted a little bit and they weren't using him. As far as I saw, they only used him 6 times. He did not too bad for those average rating of 6 appearances. And so I thought I'd bring him in, 50k. I thought it was not too bad of a deal. Also the fact that he's quite young, so it would be good. We also brought in then Habil Satya from Yahukimo FC for 19k, 32-year-old. I thought on this one it was because our right back we needed a second right back. And I thought we'd bring in someone who's fairly decent, so he was one of the players that was available. He was doing quite well with Yahukimo. As you can see, 17 matches, 7.28, though it was in a lower league, but still, I thought he'd be good for 1 year for us, at least in League 2 anyway. League 1, probably, I'm not too sure, because we might want to use somebody else, but this is where we have a lot of free players, and a lot of them we're going to be probably maybe taking those places. Then last but not least of the paid one is Miftah Al-Hamdi from Bali United, 13.5k, 23-year-old. He seemed it was weird because he had a very good potential, and his current ability was pretty decent, and he is a striker. So I thought we actually bought Miftahul Hamdi earlier, beforehand, and I thought with him and Mursalim, that'd be a good matchup because he's 23 and Mursalim's 20, so that'd be a good two players to build up and see how they do against the teams. I think it's 30.5k. I'm not going to complain about that. Now, to our free players. Obviously, I looked through the free players. A lot of them, we had them playing well and trialed for us. So they trialed a bit, and then we checked them out, and they didn't do too bad. Obviously, some of these are like midfielders, 19 between probably 18 to 23 at least. Some of these are players that could come in potentially to take a spot. Obviously, we've got Siswanto here, who's attacking mid left. The reason we brought him in, a lot of them are the 18 to 22 range because I want to try and bring in the younger players to try and build them up in the team, so then we can sell some of the older ones. Siswanto was brought in because of the fact that we were a little bit short at the time, because this was at the beginning. This was before I knew the fact that they had domestic transfers, and I did not know this until this happened. So we tried to sign a Siswanto, and it was rejected. But nonetheless, we were able to get him in now, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it might not be too bad. Also, we brought in Priya Bodo, who's a 25-year-old, because I felt Satya was only going to be there for 1 year, probably. So I thought I needed to bring in somebody else in case otherwise. But we'll see. A lot of these players are midfielders, which is a little bit worried because that means it's kind of stacking up our midfield, but it does still give us a depth in our squad. Obviously, we got rid of at the beginning, people we won't really need whatsoever. But otherwise, it's not too bad. We have quite a lot of players in the squad. Maybe this will get rid of that. We've got quite a lot of players in the squad, and I have a lot of time to go before the season starts. So we're going to be going through a lot of friendlies and trying to see who we're going to keep, who we're going to sell. We will probably be selling a lot of players that were playing in the first season, because I need to somewhat make some money to make up for all these players I brought in. But I will let you know in the next episode who gets sold off, who gets bought. I'm hoping I don't make any more signings, but we'll see how it goes. But definitely, I'll show you who gets sold off or who gets loaned out even, because they have no spot for the squad. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember to, if you'd like to comment on it, by all means. If you'd like to comment on the fact that I made too many signings, I would agree with this. If you want to check it out, by all means. And also, if you like the video, I would appreciate it. Anyway, I will see you in the next episode, and I hope you have a nice day. And I will try and do these more. You might see them not being every game or anything. Maybe every so often we might do is a catch up on what's happened on it, and you might see some highlights of goals. You'll see many amazing goals coming in. You'll see some horrible times where it's gone to the point where it's like, what the fuck, and you'll see some misery, probably, definitely. But hey, we're going to be doing this challenge, and hopefully what I'm hoping for is we build this team into a very good team. But anyway, I will catch you later, and I'll see you in the next episode. See ya. Bye. Yo, what's going on?